This is the basic part of the WordPress where, we're going to start our login process by typing in wp-admin. And you've done this before. Since I had not logged out, it took me immediately to that site. I was there a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And let's see, I tell you what, let me log out of here and maybe we can do that over. And let's see, how do we do this? Tell you what we're going to do. Okay, so there we are. I just opened a different browser
Hmm.
that I wasn't logged into already. And we're going to go to the admin, and it will require our login here. And this is where I type in our username and password, which is Recosa admin, and then whoever's doing it will have to have the password at the time. But
Right.
that's what that looks like. And I'm gonna click remember me, but okay, so now we're in the dashboard. And this right here, the appearance and plugins were the two things that weren't appearing. Uh,
Hmm.
in our earlier effort. And that's what was, killing us because I couldn't do anything really to do anything. The appearance controls so many aspects of, what the website looks like. And then the plugins is where you get all the things, that you can, the neat and nifty small applications that, you need to run the website. So
Uh, I didn't tell you, but I found out why we couldn't see it.
why is that?
Um, it was under settings and profiles, and admin was limited to editor role.
Okay.
And so every time we were logging in as um, admin, WP admin under Recosa, it would only allow us editor roles. It wouldn't allow us all the administrative roles.
Wow. Yeah, I had a feeling, I had a feeling it was something to do with limitations, and we just weren't sure where it was,
Yeah. So
right?
rather than me setting it, that's when I copied you on that email. It says, I'd rather you go ahead and set everything up and then we're good. So
Okay.
yeah, it's glad we got it back.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start with the fact that, we've logged in, and I think the place to start always when you come into WordPress is to do any updates that need to be taken care of. And going to that plugin site and clicking on, installed plugins is a way to, kind of get everything up to date and check on, just kind of check on everything, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just going through this, okay, they're telling us that they upgraded us to Polylang. To the latest version. We're using Elementor. We don't have any updates there. They're trying to get us to try some new add-on plugin. We're not going to do that right now. The database update process is running in the background. That's fine. We don't need to do anything with that. Connections home page directory has not been set. I'm going to be checking into this issue. I've been reading about some different complications, and um, I don't think we even need the connections directory or connections app, but I'm trying to verify that. So we're not going to do anything with that
Now,
right now.
is that for when we would have um, pages or items only for certain individuals to see?
The connections dashboard.
Yes.
I this is not. I am not quite sure what the connections program does. And it's one of these things that I don't use it for any of my other sites. And so I'm not real confident as to, I just want to make sure that since I don't know what it does and
Okay.
if it's integrated at all with this current site, I want to be careful about it because I don't want to delete something that's needed. But
Sure.
my impression is that it's not needed. It's one of these many plugins over here that we kind of need to weed out from from the administrative side of the website.
Okay.
Having this many plugins over here is just not normal. I mean, it's not. I mean, if I were to show you some other websites that I manage, you'd see maybe 10 plugins over here,
Oh, okay.
but not the 15 or whatever there are. So, and actually, I've already taken out a couple already because I was concerned, that email that we got from early on when one of those assistants said, you've got so many uh, plugins that you're hurting system memory issues. And
Right.
so I went and took out, backup and duplicator and some of those things that we're safe on right now. And I can come back and do that later, again for backup and duplicator and stuff like that. But um, anyway, this whole plugins situation is one of those things that and connections is, I just want to work very cautiously through them because whereas at the front part of the website, the actual website, uh, this all looks pretty simple, right? I mean, there's nothing out of the
Hmm.
ordinary in terms of structure and function, etc. My question, though, and I haven't dug into this, is whether any of these um, previous posts, like some of these that were topics, and whether any of those have anything that I need to that are integrated to the back end, like for instance, meetings and events. Sometimes these things have calendars, and the calendars would have its own plugin on the back, on the back part of what we're looking at.
Hmm.
So what I want to do is just, and I'm doing it for the first time right now as we're talking, is I'm coming through here and I'm looking, and all of this stuff is kind of out of date anyway, right? It's all 2018
Right.
stuff. It doesn't look like it's been edited. Quite honestly, many things in this whole page looks like it could be uh, uh, deleted or
Hmm.
removed unless you all want to have some sort of historical record of these things occurring, and that's up to you all.
We we want the historical record, but it doesn't have to be online. We keep our historical records through our Dropbox at this, and so um, I think at one time there was the desire for anyone, they could go back and look at our historical records if they wanted to through the website.
Hmm.
But it, as I told them, I said, listen, that just means somebody has to make sure all of those links are kept up to date, and it just adds more to the back end of the website that we
Right.
really don't need to do.
Well, if that's the case, then I think that we, for these different posts, reaching back to 2018, we could probably safely delete them,
Hmm.
from the record keeping in WordPress. And quite honestly, I think it's good to do that, um, because if people go to your website and they see a lot of out of date meeting notices, from 2018, or earlier. I'm going to see if there's anything earlier. There
I
must,
think I saw something back to 2017, and
yeah, there must be, because you see when I go here down here to older posts, there are 12 pages. Let's go to page 12. and there's something going back as far as 2012.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
bunch of legacy stuff on there that, I just don't know that it's needed anymore.
No.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go back to the plugins page, and let's mark it down as a to-do for me to clean up this meetings and events page, and just get rid of some of the old listings. All right, but let's go back to the plugins page. The plugins page now has, remember, we went through kind of this first part of what they're telling us, is going on behind the scenes. And I just sometimes, just for the sake of a clear screen, just, come over here to the upper corners and clear those things off. They'll reappear the next time we open it up, but for now we can shut it down. So this is a list of all of the plugins that are currently active on the website. Or let me rephrase that. They're available, and some are active, some aren't. For instance, this A5 custom login page allows people to, log in to, some private content that you've got on the site. And right now it's active because our only choice is to deactivate it, right?
Okay.
And so we're just going to leave, we're going to leave that alone. That's one of these things that I'm not sure if anybody's using any, logins to special portions of the site. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Not yet. I've been thinking of creating a special login for like board members where we can have certain conversations or have certain documents just for the board members to look at.
Okay. So, that's one of these things we'll leave where it is.
Leave then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and, we can probably go through these, more, at a later time, but what I wanted to do was just show how these plugins function.
Okay.
And so, for instance, GoDaddy Pro Sites Worker. This plugin, we help you efficiently manage all your WordPress websites, updates, backups, one-click login, migration, security, and more in one dashboard. This comes in two versions, blah, 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 blah. Now, what's interesting about this is that you only have one website that you're managing through GoDaddy, and that's this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so what this app does, the GoDaddy Pro Sites Worker does, is manage all WordPress websites that you have with GoDaddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we only have one, we really don't need this.
Don't need it.
Yeah. So this is a good one for us to say, okay, instead of updating it right here, okay, why don't we go ahead and deactivate it?
Deactivate it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe, so I'm going to click deactivate and we'll see what happens there. And we'll leave it here for now. Where to go? We'll leave it. Yeah, right. It's right here. We'll leave it, and it's manage WordPress worker. If we need it in the future, we'll activate it. If there's more than one website that you want to do on GoDaddy. But
okay. Yeah.
But we might as well, but we might as well deactivate it and get any system resources back by the deactivation. And because we've deactivated it, we don't need to update it because we're not going to be using it. So I'm just going to go ahead and update it just because I'm compulsive that way. But we're not really using it, and it's just going to hang out there. Okay. So let's go down here to another one. This is another one. You can tell by these yellow boxes that these are the ones that need update or attention. This is a Google Maps plugin. Create custom Google Maps with high quality markers containing locations, descriptions, images, and links. Add your customized map to your WordPress posts and our pages quickly and easily with the supplied shortcode. No fuss. So I've been through the website and I don't see where this app is used anywhere in any of the posts. And so my inclination would be to deactivate it and, to go ahead, we can update it since, I'm compulsive, but we could deactivate it or we could just leave it be. And maybe as we go through here, try to think of opportunities to add maps, which are always nice to put in. But
yes, let's leave it in.
Yeah.
Because after we get through all this COVID, we have regular member meetings. We call them brown bag lunches. And they're held at different locations. And so once we get back into the process of having those meetings for the members and posting the invitation, I'd like to be able to include the map of where the location is.
Okay. Good thought process. So we'll leave that there. And
Okay.
here's the thing. Right now, this is WordPress Google Maps. We can always go up. You can always go to the plugins, the add new plugins page, which I clicked over here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, is it churning? Yeah. And
there we go.
Here you go up here and this is the plugin page.
Search. Okay.
And we can search plugins and we plug in maps and hit enter. And so this brings up all of the different types of plugins that are available with map processes. So over here, we can see WP Google Maps. That's what we have installed already. We have Elementor already installed, but there are other map apps which are available to us that, they may be different from the Google map, and they might have different features, and it's just
features.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of going through them and saying, okay, well, I like Google Maps, but I'm really trying to convey this message or that location or whatever. And let me see if there's something better out there. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep. Sure does.
Okay. So that's how you kind of use this or use the plugins, the add new plugins capability. And you can see that there's an endless variety of map applications to consider and possibly incorporate into your website. In fact, there's 84 pages like this.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
goodness gracious. Okay.
And and just kind of one of the things that goes through my thought process when I'm looking at all these options is I look at things like 400,000 plus active installations. Okay. That, right here, and it has a pretty high star rating.
Yes.
To me, that means that, okay, a lot of other people have been guinea pigs and have worked out some of the bugs in the program. And we don't have to be, part of the debugging process. And you can see here, like this interactive geo maps, 10,000 plus installations. Well, that tells me that's either newer or not as widely adopted. Maybe it's still got kinks in it and bugs that, I don't want to deal with. But then again, it may be perfect, for whatever it is I'm trying to do. And you won't know until you get in and kind of play around with it.
Okay.
So that's, here's one with 80,000 plus active installations. So, it's a lot more than this, but it's less than this. And, it's just a matter of figuring out what it is you need, what these provide, what's the difference, and whether it's right for you.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back to our installed plugins and continue working through the process here. So we've decided we're going to keep Google Maps and keep it active. WP sitemap page, WP front user role editor. These have been deactivated. I may have deactivated them here in the last few days. Yoast SEO. I'm not a real.
What does that stand for?
SEO.
Yeah.
Search engine optimization.
Okay. Okay.
And it's a way to put things in your site so that Google, when you type in, when you have a Google page or Bing, here's Bing, and you type in, something like, Lindsay Boylan, whoever that is, ex Cuomo aide. Anyway, it comes up and immediately gets a hit. If we were to type in, Recosa or retired city of San Antonio employees, it comes up with sanantonio.gov, and over here we get the Recosa site, which is good because that means that our site is somewhat friendly to at least to Bing in terms of pulling it up.
Right.
But at the same time, the city of San Antonio is better at connecting on their search engine optimization than Recosa is, because we're down here and we're not up here
at the top of the
of the page. But that has a lot to do with the fact that probably many more people are looking for the sanantonio.gov page every day. They get a lot more hits for water,
everything.
Yeah. And so therefore, they're ranked higher than Recosa when somebody types in, this, particular set of words. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back. We're going to go ahead and update, that program right now. So we've just done the first thing. If you look over here at the plugins, you can see that we don't have that little red dot with a number in there anymore.
Right.
So we know that all of our plugins are up to date. We don't have to, which is good, because, you just don't want to be working off of old versions. And,
right.
That's usually the first thing that I do when I come into the site, is update anything that needs to be updated. Or look to make sure that it's nothing major. If it needs to be updated, that it's it's nothing major. I can move on maybe to something else. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. Let's go to well, let me ask you this: what would you like to try to do next?
Well, I'm thinking of this in terms of the recording. Let's go to posts.
Okay.
And creating posts.
Okay. All right, so what I did there was I went to post, and then I went to add new. And on add new, this is where, we're going to add our title. And I'll just, a title, headline, test headline for recording session. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next step, now this says to edit with Elementor. We're not going to go there right now. We're just going to use the basic WordPress capabilities. And this is where we type in, we've got our headline up here. And right here is where we can start, start typing our post out and get it ready for being live on the site. Okay. Now, over here on the right, we have a number of options to control what we do with this. Let's say that we're not quite, we don't have all the information that we need to complete this site, and we have something else that we have to do. So we're just going to go to Save Draft. And then we can go over here back to our plugins page. We can do things on the plugin page that we needed to do. And then, we got the email that came in with the information that we needed for the test headline post that we're doing. So we can come over here to, this post right here, click on it. You see that it says draft right there. And then we're back, and then we're back into
you're back into the editing.
We're back into the editing. And then we can say, wow, glad we waited for that email to come in so that we can make a better post. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing that I do, or I try to do most of the time when I'm working with posts, I try to get a featured image for every post that I do. And the images add so much to websites and blog style posts so I'll go here to set featured image.
Okay. Takes us to our library.
And it takes us to our media library. And I assume that these are all former employees, events that you all have. We don't need this. Events that you all have had, your logo.
It's a variety of things in there. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So we could select on any of those, or we can go to upload files. Like I said, I like to. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I like to add. If I don't have a picture of somebody, like over here, like we did, for something, there are a lot of sites that have free images that you can go and pick up a free image without having to worry about copyright.
Copyrights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Unsplash is one of those sites, and it's the internet source of freely usable images. And so, it tells you about the license. All photos can be downloaded for free, commercial and non-commercial, no permission needed. That's beautiful.
Yes.
You just can't sell the images, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in this case, I'll go to, retired workers. And here we have some images from Unsplash.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of generic type images that you can.
Yep. That you can go and grab. So let's say we click on that one. And up here it says download free.
Download free. Okay.
And so it's creating a, we don't need to do anything with this. Say thanks, it gives you some stuff. We don't need to do anything with that. But over here, down below, it's downloaded to my site, and I can open it up. And it just opened on my other. I have two screens working. It opened on
Mhm.
it opened on my other screen, and I'm gonna bring it over here, and then I'm gonna save it in my
Into our
Recosa.
media.
Yeah, into our. Well, first I'm gonna save it into my Recosa file, and I'll save it right there. And then I'll go back to our media upload, and I'll go and find it. And let's see, here it is. So I found it and I clicked on it and uploaded it. I'm uploading it right now.
Mhm. Have you ever had any issues of uploading from some of those sites and having the file be contaminated or something, having issues with it?
Not from these sites, no, no
Okay.
problems. But
Okay.
if you were to go to say Bing and type in retired city of San Antonio employees, and then go to images, and you were just to go to some random site somewhere,
Oh,
um,
cool.
that's not an official site, um, you know, you never know. It is more of a crapshoot in terms of there
Yeah.
could be an image, you know, back here if you were to download this that might be, um, you know, contaminated. The security filters do a good job of screening all that kind of stuff out these days.
Okay.
So, but nonetheless, I mean, if you go to a wacky, obscure website, you know, you very well could
May get it.
may get it. You know, so all right. So
Okay.
let's go back over here. So the image has uploaded. It's in our media library. Over here on the right are some things that I often ignore, but probably, you know, a very diligent website effort, um, where you fill in some of these things definitely helps with search engine optimization. And if I were doing this for a corporate site where, you know, I'm really selling products, you know, I would always fill in a lot of this because of search engine optimization. And
Okay.
it would be product descriptions, it would be, you know, all kinds of things. But for Recosa, you know, I don't know that this is as important to do, but I'll give you an example. So alt text, um, older retirees, um, sharing a moment together. Okay. So
Hmm.
if what alt text means is if somebody pulls up the Recosa site, but they have some limitation on um, bandwidth, they might have their computer not upload pictures. And instead, they would get this alt text in that
Text
space
description of the.
of
Hmm.
what the photo is about. Yeah. So, you know, that's a reason alt text is probably the one that you would, you know, do it, you know, would use
Same
that
way with
feature.
title.
Yeah. And I would do the same, um, sharing a moment, you know. And then if you really wanted to do, you know, more in depth, you could talk about their clothes, whatever it is in the caption, description, you know, all of these things. But most of this is used for search engine, uh, you know, search engine stuff, but also If you're a corporation, Stephen, you might they might encourage using captions and descriptions. If you are creating like a catalog or inventory,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know, I'm just trying to give you examples of why
Sure.
this is here. And for somebody, if they wanted to use it for a Recosa purpose, you know, you know why it's there. So then we can just do this, set featured image. You see it comes up over here.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back on our post draft page. And if we want to, now we can take a look at what our draft page looks like. So we hit preview right here, and we're going to see that headline and the text and that image. So test headline for recording session. There's our picture. And there's the text that we'd entered.
Okay, cool. That's excellent. That's what I've been wanting to get to.